How do you maintain a friendship? I don't really know. But I know what I did to keep the people that I have in my life. Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Captain Widescreen, back again with another video. We are officially on the very last chapter of the Female Friendship Guide book that was written by my mom and her colleague, Amelia. So, if we're going to get into it, let's talk about chapter 6. Before we get into everything else, make sure you're liking the video. Subscribe to my channel, please. And leave a comment if you feel so inclined. Okay. Maintaining our friendships. The friends that reciprocate and are actively involved and interested in your life are the ones that you should work hard at keeping. If that ain't that. So, obviously for this video, I envisioned myself and my best friend being able to come and talk to you guys about like our friendship together. But schedules did not align in time. This video has to go up today, so it is going up. But don't think that we won't circle back with the friendship edit, because it will be coming. I did actually ask my bestie to fill out or to tell me her story of how like she thought our friendship has maintained throughout the years. I touched on a couple of different points in my memory that like I feel like were turning points in our friendship. So I asked her if she has any different ones, she has the same ones, like what's her take on when she felt like we really bonded and became like, you know. So this is her response to that. Isn't she so cute? Like, oh, that's my best friend. That's my best friend for real. When this book was being created, my mom and Amelia asked 110 women to fill out questions or fill out a survey with different questions surrounding female friendships, right? So the average friendship span of the majority of the women in this survey respondents group was 25 years per person on average. That's crazy. 25 years of friendship. I'm 27. You're probably like, oh, well, that's such a long time. I'm never going to experience friends like that. Me and my best friend have known each other for about 20 years. Me and a good group of people have actually known each other for 20 years, and we still connect to this day. Have you guys ever heard of Gary Chapman? Maybe not, but have you heard of the 5 Love Languages? You probably have. The 5 Love Languages is a book that's written by Gary Chapman, which details 5 different ways that people tend to show or want love shown towards them. I agree with the 5 love languages, that those are ways that people can show love to each other. I'm one of those people, though, that is under the camp of, like, let's get all 5. Is that a bug? What the heck? If I was to pick my top 2 of the 5 love languages, definitely giving gifts and quality time are my 2 biggest ones. Knowing your love languages can definitely help, because then you'll tend to gravitate towards people who have similar love languages to you or have complementary ones to you. If your friend is someone who likes physical touch and you're someone who hates physical touch, you might not be as compatible. Another way that you can maintain friendships is by keeping in touch. So a lot of the communication is a big part of how friends maintain each other. Like at one point, me and my best friend, if we didn't text back a few times in a day, something was very wrong. Obviously, as we've grown and gotten to adulthood and gone through some big life stuff, there's tons of people that I would say I am friendly with, but because we do not keep in touch, I can't consider them a friend anymore, or at least not right now. Of course, whenever I talk about them, yes, they're still like, oh, my friend so-and-so, but it's like, this is my high school classmate, XYZ. Like, it's just different. Next up is the impact of life events. So when you move, when you become parents, when you get married, life stuff. My 27-year-old self has seen my friends go through so many different life changes, milestones, etc. that can definitely impact how our friendship has ebbed and flowed. For some people, once they got into a relationship, they dropped their girlfriend. For other people, it was, moving away to a different city, a different country, whatever it was. Or it could be just like other stuff going on. Maybe they're grieving a loved one. Maybe they lost a parent. There's different reasons that things might happen that you won't end up seeing each other. And it can be the same for me. I moved into my apartment, and it's like, while I love being here, it's not as close to any of my friends. To be fair, I don't live close to the majority of the people that I'm close with, which is wow. Life events can impact their friendships because it's like, if all the significant events in everyone's lives lined up perfectly, then none of us would really go anywhere. Like, if you guys watch the Barbie movie, you'd understand what I mean in terms of, like, things can get stagnant. Things can get very stagnant, and you don't always feel like it's a bad thing, but then you look up one day and be like, well, I've been doing the same thing for so long. But when life events happen, usually one is happening for somebody else, well, mine might not be happening. Another way that maintaining friendships can differ with people is parenting styles. So, for example, a respondent in the book detailed how at different points in parenting, for me, a lot of resetting friendship priorities culminated in the last couple of years upon the birth of my second child. 2 kids meant I need to refocus more energy on my family. My ability to travel and see friends dramatically diminished. I felt down that some of my friends didn't reciprocate when I needed them. Parenting can sometimes be isolating and lonely because it's so crazy-making and full-on. Prioritizing friendships with folk who may only have one child or older children has definitely been challenged. Definitely entering into being a parent can change things. So if you've had any friends that have recently gotten pregnant or are becoming moms, whether or not they're married, whether or not it's a committed relationship, they've decided to become a mom, that's going to change the dynamics of your friendships. I have a cousin who I call my twin because me and her growing up, we were locked in. We're literally only 13 days apart. Love you, cousin. The last time I came to visit her, that was in 2021, she was now a mom. Obviously, when she became a mom, the dynamic in her life shifted. She wasn't able to go out all the time because she had to take care of a little one. Her priorities shifted in terms of like what she wanted to do as a parent. We're kind of already very much homebodies, but when I would go to the States, we would be out all the time because it's like that's where we were at when I would visit like pretty much every year. And so from like, let's say 21 to 24, 23, 24, whenever I'd visit, it's like, I know that when I'm going out with her, club, then a club. But long story short, her ability to be able to go out all the time was very contingent on whether or not she was able to get childcare. If I, for example, was like, oh, like, you're so lame because you can't go out, all because I'm child free right now, am I okay? Like, that child is literally only on this earth because my cousin made sure that happened. I can never take away from that because I've never experienced that. But obviously, that shifted the dynamic of our friendship. I would never want to jeopardize my friendship by being like, oh, like, you're no fun, you can't hang out, you can never do stuff, What would that serve us? What would that serve us? We're just going to shift what we're doing now. Okay, you can't go XYZ because we can't take her child there. No problem. No problem. Let's find somewhere that we can take her child to. Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese. Let's go to, I want to be that friend. Like, that's the type of friend that I feel like everyone should try to be, because let's say if you didn't agree with your friend having a baby at the time that they did have a baby, are they taking care of the child? If the answer is yes, and they're doing it, support them. Be there for them as much as you can. It may mean that, like, your dates go from going to get brunch and mimosas to having them at a play place. But the best part about being friends with your best friend's kids or your good friend's kids is that when stuff happens with them, if they can't get a hold of their parent, who are they going to call? Yeah. Just keep that in mind. I'm getting on a tangent. Moving away. Definitely not living in the same city, vicinity, area that can change the dynamic of your friendship for sure. As someone who literally has never lived close to any of her friends at any point in time in her life, except for kindergarten, what is required to maintain that friendship is a line of connection. See how one of the points was keeping in touch? Moving away means that you need to keep in touch way more than you ever have. Now with technology, you have FaceTime, you have Skype, you have Google Chat, Google Meet, whatever it's called. You can see and talk to your friends a lot more than ever before. It doesn't even require you to have a cell phone plan. You just need Wi-Fi and strong internet connection. You have to actually spend time talking with your friends. If you don't text with them, if you don't message them on social media, you're going to have to call them. So maybe instead of doing in-person dates, now you have to schedule travel plans to visit each other. You might have to try different ways to communicate with each other and keep in touch in a way that like you haven't before. If you already have to do that with the friends that you have right now, why wouldn't you be doing that with like your long distance friends as well? How can you maintain them through committed relationships and marriages? I have one friend who is now recently married, and love that for y'all. And I'm so happy for them. Like, I'm just so happy for them. I just have to have a little moment for them. Now, a lot of my friends are either looking to get into relationships, are in committed relationships, are looking to that next stage of their lives and stuff like that. Every other day I go on Instagram and a new person is engaged or having a baby. And I'm so happy for all the respective people who are going through those life stages and stuff. And obviously it makes me reflect on my close friendships because now I am in a committed relationship. But let's just say, like, some of your friends could be going through a breakup, they could be single, maybe they're perpetually single, and then you, for example, are in a committed relationship, or maybe you're entering towards one, or what have you. How your friends and you respond and handle that time frame can make a big difference. Then let's say one of you is married. How much time do you commit to your friendships versus your marriage? Do they have kids? Then that adds to the equation. Let's say when you and your friend were both single, just hanging out, maybe you spent 50% of your time together. Then she gets into a committed relationship, no kids yet, now it's 30% of the time together. Then she gets married, maybe there's a kid on the way, now it's down to like 50 to 25%, right? I think that's understandable, but like you guys also need to have a conversation to find out what's that okay moment for y'all. Oh, also, sorry. For a healthy long-term relationship, y'all should be able to plan your futures together too. Me and my best friend, for example, used to talk about things that we dreamed of doing when we got older. We did do some of those things. Other things, we talk about like what we'll do at 30, what we'll do at 45, what life looks like. Because it's like, for me, for example, there's certain life goals that my friend has. I'm not going to share them because it's not my thing to share. If she wants to call on camera and say them, I'll edit the video. But I will say, like, she has certain life goals that she wants to hit or wants to get to by a certain time frame. I already know in the back of my head, there's some things that it's like, yeah, when this time comes, dropping everything, I'll be there. This time comes, dropping everything, I'll be there. When this time comes, I know I need to spend X number of days, hours, whatever, to save up, whatever it is. Because it's like, I want to be there, and I'm planning in my head already to be there for her special moment, to be there for special times, milestones, etc., etc. And it's like, I know for her, it would be the same thing because I like to share stuff like that. We like to dream. We like to manifest. So it makes things a lot more beneficial because we are trying to be in it for the long haul, regardless of relationship status, regardless of whatever else anyone thinks. That's the goal and that's the plan. That's problem. Good. Oh, acknowledging and making space for feelings. This definitely can be a big part of how friendships can evolve over time. Think of it almost like a sibling. If you guys have healthy relationships, and these are for the siblings who actually do get along and haven't got no contact or want to, or they, I'm not talking about those ones. These are the ones you actually get along with. Like, you'd be friends even if you weren't related. But I don't have any sisters, so I treat my friendships like my sisters, essentially. So it's like, I'm going to love them regardless. I'm going to love them when they piss me off a little bit. I'm going to love them when they cuss me out. I'm going to love them when we haven't spoken in a little while. I'm going to make sure that, like, they know that they can talk to me about what they're feeling. If you grew up in a healthy environment where you're able to talk about your feelings and express yourself, it's easier for you to then go and do so with your significant other, with your friends, etc., because you're used to being able to communicate your feelings. If you haven't always been able to develop those, you're going to have to learn how to do it for yourself. I don't have all the tips on how to do that because I did grow up in a household where we did communicate our feelings as much as possible. There's still a lot of stuff that I internalize and don't always share right away. But I do have friends, like my best friend, like other friends that I have, that like I am held accountable to in a sense, because if I don't reach out to my friend in like 3 days, and even then 3 days might be a little too long, she'll be like, yo, what's going on? Because it's like, it's one thing if like we don't message on a certain platform, but at least one of our communication methods we're going to communicate on, right? But if there's no communication on any platform, I think 24 hours she'll be like, what's up? What's happening? Because I've also made it clear to her that it's like, I felt horrible when I did that in the past, when I withdrew myself so much that I couldn't even talk to my best friend. I didn't ever want to go back to that place. So I told her, I'm like, listen, if you ever see like my place getting to a certain level of like crazy, if you ever see my communication lessening in a way that like is alarming to you, please don't hesitate to reach out and like hold me accountable for it, because I should be doing that. I should be reaching out. So being able to share my feelings like that with someone that I'm close to happened because I'm wanting to be more vulnerable with the important people in my life, because I need to be able to in order for them to have an understanding of me. In maintaining friendships, acknowledging and making space for feelings definitely means that you have to be open to communication. Sometimes the big feelings are about you. And if you're willing to listen and listen with an open ear and listen with an open heart and an open mind, you can sometimes find ways to better yourself. Other times, the big feelings might be coming from you. And if they're really your friend, they will be able to accept with open hearts, ears, and mind that, maybe they're at fault. There are so many ups and downs with every type of relationship, platonic or romantic. But as you weather the storm, there's always going to be feelings. So how you communicate through them, how you hold yourself accountable or hold others accountable can make the difference in how your relationship progresses. If you always are the friend who gets done dirty and then you just say, oh, it's fine, I'll just let it go, it's not that serious, whatever, you set a precedent with your friends that they can run you over and you'll forgive them. But if you're clear with your boundaries and enforce them and then say, I don't like when you're like this, or I don't condone this type of behavior, doesn't mean that they have to stop doing the behavior. It means that if they continue with the behaviors, you will no longer be in their life. And then if they decide to step over that boundary, you then have to enforce it by removing them from your life. This book, majority is focusing on friendships that have stood the test of time. We can't also ignore short-run friendships. Sometimes you had that girl that you met for one semester, and you guys were close, and then all of a sudden it just went to nothing out of nowhere. That's also an important friendship to learn, like, maybe this didn't work out. Can I reflect on why that didn't work out? Is there things that I could have done better or worse or less of or more of in order to keep that friend for longer? Maybe it was a decision that you made that you decided, I don't think this is a good friend for me. I'm going to take a step back based on how they're responding or reacting. But knowing that also helps you figure out who the people that you actually want in your life are going to be, because those friendships can teach you a lesson. I've had multiple friendships that have started, finished, and there was lessons that needed to be learned. Because if I didn't learn a lesson with the first friend or the first time, guess what? It would come back again. And so learning from those shorter run friendships can definitely help you find who your lifelong friends are going to be. I spent a lot of the pandemic romanticizing my life. And you don't have to do this because the whole world is locked down. You can do this at any point in time, whenever you feel so inclined. But when I started showing love to myself in a way that expressed to everyone else that I showed love to myself, i.e., taking care of my skin, spending an hour lotioning my body, doing little things that just made me feel like, wow. I will really want to encourage you, if you have made it to the end of this video, to really put time and effort into romanticizing your life, because you'll be surprised what comes back. When I started romanticizing my life on my boyfriend, I'm just saying, like, you don't always have to do it in order to get a romantic relationship. Like I said, I gained so many cool, wonderful people in my life because I just was open to receiving love in all aspects, that it opened doors for me that I wasn't even expecting. If you to learn anything from this series, love yourself. Because when you can pour into yourself, you can then pour into others because you have an overabundance flowing. I talk to myself in the mirror a lot and I encourage myself. I listen to music and I just like talk to myself in the mirror as if like I'm the hottest girl in the world. And that makes me like, now I can go out and step out and remind everyone why I am. And that, of course, is going to show up and look different for everyone, but definitely make sure that that's part of what you do because it can make a difference in your life. I promise. We're done now. I can't believe it. I'm so sad that we are done the friendship series, but I'm excited to share with you that more is on the way. You're actually getting a video coming up before Sunday. So make sure you tune in for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around. Thank you guys so much for coming with me to the very end of the Female Friendship Guide series. And let me know what you think of this video. If you want more of these, we got more. There's more. We're not done with the friendship book yet. We're just done with the series for right now. You know all the drill. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'll be back. Take care.